What's going on, and welcome fellow fans of Clash of Clans. Today's Fix Gem Farm Max That Rush episode has everything you want in it. It's got massive money spent, tons of gems spent, and an incredible amount of loot used to upgrade, and maybe even a 3-star attack mixed in. But today's episode is mostly upgrades, and that's really what players have been asking for. So yes, this is delayed just a bit. I realize I'm a little bit behind. Again, if you want to see exactly how this base is progressing, come to a Facebook live stream, fb.gg/realgaladongaming, and you would have already known that the Barbarian King, he's already 65. That's right, he's maxed out, he's a senior citizen, he's AARP discount ready. He eats dinner at 4 o'clock, his teeth sleep in a glass next to his bed, and he gets up 5 times in the middle of the night to go pee. Yes, it is the level 65 Barbarian King, and oh man. Hey, I'm a long ways off of 65, okay? So before you go down to the I see you. Knock it off. All right. Okay, so he's getting there. So by the end of this episode, he's level 65. This was the Gold Pass end of the season loot. Yes, today's loot spent will total 195 million plus. That's not even including the Dark Elixir that gets spent, heading the King all the way up to max. We're trying to get the defenses to start to catch up. And I will say, I'm getting compliments both in these videos and in live streams saying, hey, Galadon, your account, it's not really rushed anymore. And while technically, yes, it may be rushed because it has some Town Hall 9, 10, 11 level stuff in there still, it appears on the surface to most players to be relatively mature. And unfortunately, that's just kind of the way Clash is. There's a lot of rushed players out there. In fact, I would say that the majority of bases that I'm finding in Titan 1, Titan 2 are less developed than my own at this point. So it kind of feels good to be getting out there and yes, crushing bases, smashing faces, winning all the farming races. So speaking of farming races, all right, so we generally don't try to spend gems to free up a builder to do walls, but of course, I'm going to need lots of free builders because we're doing way more than walls this session. Way more than walls. That's right. So the level 12 walls, they're, yeah, it's good. Oh man. Okay. I don't even want to think about going to level 13 walls. I need a wealthy benefactor. I need somebody with more time. Wait, no, more money than sense, more dollars than sense who wants to hook me up. But otherwise, we'll just keep the grind going. I don't mind. And of course, don't worry, when we're done, we've got a whole nother account. I am thinking about that account, by the way. If you've seen it, it's going to be no heroes. I think that would be a lot of fun. Fix that rush, no heroes. I think that would be cool. Okay, so some of the cheaper upgrades are getting done. So you can see these lower level Archer Towers cannons are getting upgraded, and we're getting closer and closer all the time. Now, this is a Queen Charge Miner attack against a relatively tough base, obviously with a sleeping set of heroes. But it was fun just to switch back to something that I hadn't been using recently because I've been almost all about P.E.K.K.A. Bobat and P.E.K.K.A. Smash. And I thought, okay, let's just experiment a little bit and see how much I've slipped. And I gotta say, it's good practice to make sure that your Queen Charge abilities are fresh because the Queen Charge is so valuable in so many different situations. Of course, when I look at this base and I see all of those single target infernos, I'm just like wringing my hands going, man, I wish I brought my bat spells. They would have absolutely annihilated this base, despite the wizard towers, because those are easy enough to deal with. So this time the Archer Queen gets in, she gets the Town Hall down, so now the miners just have this little curved section of the base to wind their way through. And notice, yes, the level 62 King, he's got more than enough elixir to go to level 63. So that is about to happen as well. And man, let me tell you, now that we're really reaching the point, offensively anyway, that this account is exactly the same as my main account. There are just a couple of spells, a couple of troops, I think, that aren't maxed out. Other than that, it is completely maxed on offense. And so it feels like I'm getting close. It also feels like maybe, just maybe, Town Hall 13 should start to creep closer and closer. As you know, once the World Championships are over in Germany in a couple of months, then it's a free-for-all. You never know when Town Hall 13 might drop. All right, so speaking of that Dark Elixir, let's go ahead and finish the Barbarian King to 63. And then we've got this issue of, okay, what do we do here as far as getting the Elixir for 64 and 65? Because we've got, of course, some runes. Now, I'll get to the packages in just a minute. You know Galadon loves packages, and yeah, but in the meantime, let's see here. So rather than collecting this, let's go ahead and just use the Rune of Dark Elixir. Yes, I did throw away 20k Dark. In the grand scheme of things, that's not that important. It's going to get the king to 64 and leave us with about 50k left. So there's the king at 64, and it's so strange to know that this is about to be it. Now, no, I'm not going to do this. Don't worry. Remember, this is the one thing I avoid. Give me an extra step. Give me a middleman, like let me buy a rune, but don't let me buy resources outright with gems. And speaking of runes, here we go. When you gem the Gem Juice River Highway Road of Gold Passes, there it was. I was just impatient. I realized I could have waited. I could have earned that point stuff over there in the season pass, but come on. We're 62 to 65 in one day. I mean, it feels good. You ready? Here it comes. Finally. I mean, Heroes completes. This is it. Every single hero maxed out. And I gotta say, even from 60 to 65, there is a significant difference in the strength of the Barbarian King. Same with the Archer Queen. So we finish it up, of course, another 825 gems. And now, gotta squeeze the king on over. And I'm thinking the Warden needs to move away from the Queen. I mean, maybe the king's a little bit jealous, right? That's not going to work. He needs to move over here. There we go. All right. So the Barb King finally rejoining his queen. Eventually. Okay, there he goes. He took a moment. I think he was a little bit upset about being separated from the queen and the castle. Technically, when you think about it, their castle is the town hall. It is over there. And now they are finally back. And no, the queen is giving the king the cold shoulder. Look at the queen went and hid. The queen is hiding behind the town hall. That is regrettable. Okay, it's going to take a little while for those two to get reacquainted, I think. And in the meantime, we've got some pretty wicked season rewards to pick up. Lots and lots of runes, builder stuff as well. A shovel. Yeah, gotta love those shovels. Gosh, I don't know why I keep saying that. Maybe because they're 500 gems in the shop. All right, but anyway, not a fan, but I am going to use the shovels on my main account. That is coming very, very soon. And we're going to break down and start to use some of those shovels. Because, like I said, you know, when you get them for free, it's okay. But I just could never see paying that amount for a shovel. Okay, speaking of paying that amount, man, these walls, 3.2 million each. Can't get over how expensive these are. Can't even do 4 walls with a full storage. So we're going to get ready and send another Expo over the walls to the far, fully upgraded side. And it kind of reminds me, I was talking to Klaus the other day. I'm like, hey, Klaus, how's that farming series going? He goes, oh, hey, I upgraded my bomb tower today. How about you, Galadon? Oh, I said, yeah, you know, I did 2 cannons, an archer tower, bomb tower, an inferno tower, maxed out the king, and 12 more walls. Sorry, Klaus. But seriously, major props to any of you free-to-play farmers that are out there grinding through all of these upgrades completely organically without using gems, without buying packages. It's crazy. You guys are so dedicated. And honestly, in the one account where I rushed it from Town Hall 1 to Town Hall 12 in one episode, remember that one that has all the level 1 walls, level 1 defenses, and no heroes? A lot of players have suggested, Galadon, simply farm that account. Don't use any gems, farm it all the way to max and let us watch. And I mean, as much as I would like to do that, you know, the number one thing that prevents me from doing that is simply time. It would take years. It would take so long to try to max an account like that from where it is, especially not using heroes at all. It is just, again, like I said, it's over my head as far as patience is concerned. And maybe it is a personal flaw that I have, but I simply don't have the patience to progress like that slowly over that incredibly long period of time. And it's not just that, but it's the idea of doing, say, the same farming raid 10,000 times, because that's quite literally what you would have to do. So yes, we do things like buy daily deals and runes. So again, like I said, it's not like directly buying resources. There is a middleman. The rune is the middleman, the trader, and that allows us to technically not be spending gems on resources, right? You're spending gems on runes and runes on resources. So yes, we are getting a ton of upgrades done today. It feels like we're starting to get close to the end, but then all we have to do is zoom out and look at the walls and we know, yeah, we're nowhere near. Plus these last upgrades on these defenses, holy cow, do they get expensive. You know what else was expensive? The 7th anniversary packs. Those were not cheap, $49.99 and $19.99. But how can you turn that value down? When you're a Galadon, when you're a player like me, it is just great value and you want it. You can't say no. And so we are maxing out another Inferno Tower all the way up. So that means that Inferno Tower gets to move over to the completed side. Hold on, let's complete him. There we go. Oh, looks so good. Love the graphic change. I think the graphic change they made on these Inferno Towers was, oh look, there's a perfect little spot right there. Okay, so perfect little spot. And then now what we're doing here is we're making sure that we spend as close to exactly down to 0 as possible so that we can use a rune and have it be max value. So we got down to 0 gold, so we fill up, we get exactly 12 million value, and then it was this fun little math equation like, okay, 7.2 for the mortar, and now we have 4.8 left, so how are you going to spend exactly 4.8 million gold? Well, okay, well, yeah. First of all, we were out of gems. We had 115 gems, so we're using the gems only to complete the upgrades, but we needed it, so RIP another $99.99, and now back to spending the 4,800. There it is, 2,400 for the air bombs times 2. And that's right, I stayed in school, I knew my math, and we're back down to 0 again. So we will use a book to finish the longest upgrade, which was the mortar, up to level 10. And now we can go back and use yet another rune of gold. Cashing in another 12 million. That's right, today 195 million plus in loot spent working on things like just, the less exciting stuff. This miscellaneous archer tower, wizard tower, and yes, the gems are flying out the door because, again, we're using them to free up builders. And then check this one out. You ready for this? Check out the 84 wall rings. Obviously, we had some saved up. We had the package, and feels good to finish this many walls at once. It puts a serious chunk in our... Oh, again? Oh, that's fine. That's fine because, like I said, we're upgrading way more. It just always feels bad to free a builder to do walls because the builder will do the walls and then be done. And I want to know how a builder can finish one wall just as fast as he can finish 30 or 40 or even 100 walls, right? That all takes the same amount of time. That doesn't make sense to me. At least make it be like 1 second so it feels a little more realistic, right? Okay. All right, so we got skeleton spells up to level 2 because I want to, I want to continue to work over here slowly but surely to finish off like barbs and archers, because you got to remember that king and the queen abilities aren't maxed until your barbs and your archers are maxed out. So yes, I did goblins. That was just because I happened to have that, and it happened to get me down to almost empty again on elixir. And it's a tough call. Do you do walls? Do you do... Okay, this time, like I was saying, let's truly max out the queen's ability. Let's give her the level 8 archers that she needs to support her. There we go. And then we can still do another wall. How about that? Okay, so now 1.6 million elixir left us in kind of a strange spot because, well, we just decided to go ahead and waste it. I mean, it was a lot of elixir to waste. It was like, nearly 10% of the storage, but it was just, too much for time's sake at the moment. I could have gone out and raided, to get 3.2 million, which is what I did a little bit later, like this, so that we didn't waste it again. But that first time, I don't know. I was just in a mood, okay? Forgive me for wasting 1.6 million. I know that seems like a lot to somebody who's like at Town Hall 9 or 10, but it's relative, I guess. Okay, so there's another wall, and the elixir almost down to empty again, so we hit it with another rune. That's right, closing in on 200 million in resources spent. And the walls, well, you'll notice from the beginning of this episode to the end, we have made a significant leap in improvements all the way around defenses, heroes, and walls. And now we are back to farming, picking up huge raid after huge raid in Titan 1. Man, they are just everywhere. But you know what it's time for? That's right, it has reached the point of the status report where we review the total spent. And as of today, okay, today was a big chunk. It was $169.97, bringing the total to $35.27.83. Gems spent today, over 11,000 gems, about $83 worth. And the total time now on this account, fixing that rush, over 137 hours. My next goals, to get out there and dominate with max troops and return to the wall grind, unless you guys think in the comments that I should focus on defenses completely and then go back to walls? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what else you would like to see. Thank you, as always, for sticking around all the way to the end. Come watch me live stream on Facebook. Get out there, have a fantastic day. Be kind to people, animals, and the planet. I hope to see you all back here again tomorrow for more full attacks.
Galadon, at the beginning of the episode, were you describing a level 65 king or yourself?